Hello, my name is Deborah Gulick. I'm an instructional designer with the Office of Digital Learning. And the United Nations has established quality education as one of its sustainability goals. And today I will be focusing on the importance of quality online education and its impact on sustainability. And also the focus is on the content for the lesson that will be in the new online sustainability course that we are developing. Presented here are the United Nations sustainability goals, and as sustainability faculty teaching fellows, our mission is to embed sustainability competencies into courses and integrate sustainability into the teaching culture of our college. As such, we are already familiar with these goals, and that is why we're here today. And there's one goal here that I feel would help support all the other goals. From the perspective of online learning, sustainability goal number 4, quality online education, is of paramount importance. Quality education is the key to unlocking the potential for many, if not all, the other sustainability goals. If we are educated, then we can lift ourselves up and maintain them all and reach them all. The question then is, how do we design online education to have maximum impact regarding diversity, equity, inclusion, and sustainability? And also to ensure that we are providing quality education. And the focus for the lesson and the targeted goals, and there are 3 of them, 3 primary objectives, is to recognize the value of online learning in promoting diversity, equity, inclusion, and sustainability, to recognize the value of intentional design and congruency in teaching others, and to identify the eco-benefits of online learning in promoting sustainability change. Change begins with a single action, right? And that can have an exponential effect across our world. And education is a catalyst for desired change, and it is also a great equalizer. Once we bring everybody up to a certain level, we start equalizing everybody. Online learning has the capacity to reach everyone regardless of where they live and who they are, promote awareness about sustainability, and to empower global citizens with the knowledge and skills they need to bring about positive change. Lao Tzu, an ancient Chinese philosopher and founder of Taoism, once said, "Give a man a fish and you will feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish and you will feed him for a lifetime." The key word in this statement is how. In many respects, the medium is the message, according to Marshall McLuhan, a Canadian communication theorist. And the materials and techniques we use to inspire and inform others through our art and architecture tells the story of diversity, equity, and inclusion and sustainability. For example, using a variety of natural and renewable resources in the design and development of art and architecture demonstrates our commitment to preserve our environment and promote balance in interacting with our world and with one another. It has been said that practice makes perfect. We all know that. And in reality, it is perfect practice that makes perfect. So what is this perfect practice? With respect to design and effective online learning, it is important that we practice intentional design. Undergraduate students are the target audience for the Sustainability Arts and Design course that we're developing. And with that in mind, we want to provide them with the tools that they will need to prepare learning material for their peers, whether it be their jobs or if they become educators themselves. With any presentation or lesson that is developed, we should ask ourselves, are we truly being intentional in our design? Are we designing courses to bring out the best in all of our learners? So what does it mean to design instruction with intentional design? There are 2 key things to consider: diversity, equity, and inclusion, and congruency. As we have learned, sometimes out of cultural conditioning or force of habit, this has been a topic of discussion a lot, and we might have failed to represent those individuals or groups who should be represented. Therefore, it's important that we stand back and examine our lesson and our content to ensure that we are representing everybody fairly and equitably. And some demographics that have been historically underrepresented, and I'm sure all of you know this list, but thought just reiterate it. The LGBTQ, Blacks, Indigenous peoples, mixed people, and people of color. Those with disabilities, that's including sensory, physical, and mental disabilities, and also women are even in that list still. As an instructional designer, it is important that I dig even deeper and employ certain considerations and accommodations to ensure that everyone is represented fairly and that everyone has access to the learning we develop. Some of these considerations, accommodations include ensuring that we provide inclusive course materials representing everybody, consider the proper use of pronouns, Avoid unwanted focus. You don't want too much focus on just one thing, because then we can make somebody feel uncomfortable. Actively engaging your learners, get to know them, get to find out who they are, and reference who they are here and there. Provide alternate text for images, closed captioning, video descriptions, headers for text in distinctive colors. Over the years, that has become a standard, but still some people, I don't know if they recognize that they might have someone in their class or within their presentation that might need these accommodations. But we definitely work with the disabilities office closely to make sure that we accommodate them. And also back to the very first one, for inclusive course material, I'm working with a course right now with Heather Bruno over there. And it's for art history, and we are going to ensure that the content's divided equally amongst 4 different groups: African and Mediterranean, Americas, Asia, European, and the Western cultures. So we will have 25% from each one of those topics. And with Theater 111, that's a course that has already been developed. The fundamentals of singing. And what we did for that course is we invited guest instructors of different races, genders, and sexual orientation to teach the lesson, so that everybody sees themselves in a lesson and they feel comfortable and they feel like they're connected more with the group of people. Once your lesson has been completed, it's very important to look at what you've designed. You should consider this quote from the APA Style Guide. Long-standing cultural practice can exert a powerful influence over even the most conscientious author. Just as you have learned to check what you write for spelling, grammar, and wordiness, practice rereading your work for bias. And think about that, because I know every professor I know, they get that paper, spelling errors everywhere, and they didn't care, but make sure you're thinking about that with this as well, making sure you're taking the care to consider this. Another important design principle that we use in developing online learning, and one that can be used for practically anything in life, is instructional congruence. The concept is similar to building a bridge, where on one side we have our objectives, on the other side we have our evaluation metrics, and the bridge itself represents the learning that connects the objectives with the evaluation and allows us to cross to the other side. Objectives imply where we are going, learning implies how we will get there, and evaluation implies how we know when we have arrived. And as an instructional designer, my job is to ensure that the objectives align directly with the metrics that will be used to evaluate success, and that the instruction provided is exactly what is needed to promote achievement of desired learning objectives. No matter what our respective discipline might be, we need to ask ourselves, are we effectively applying the principles of congruence in our respective fields of study? Do we have clear and concise objectives for promoting and practicing diversity, equity, and inclusion and sustainability? Have we established targeted measures of success, and are we providing the knowledge and skills necessary to empower learners to achieve their goals? Nonetheless, we will have a long way to go to reach everyone everywhere. Some people don't have internet connections and everything, but we are working on this. And as global citizens, we do not all have to be educators to educate others, right? But as global citizens, it is up to each of us to learn how to learn so that we can create a smart society. And a smart society is a sustainable society. We all have the capacity to make a difference, each and every one of us. And finally, there are also some benefits to online learning that I just could not ignore. So if we have online learning, I have a list of those. And they include, we could reduce gas consumption, pollution and emissions from transportation, and those two kind of go hand in hand. Energy consumption, paper waste and deforestation. We won't have to have books and print things and all those types of things. We could even take our notes online. Water, food, and plastic waste. If we're not going to class, or if students aren't going to class or that presentation, they're not buying food, getting too much, throwing it out, getting water bottles, throwing them out, and things like that. And natural resources, building materials, and power and heat, depending on whether those are already there or whether or not we're in there to make sure that the place is heated. And I have an example of the first one I thought just might be a fun fact or two. So the average American uses about 500 to 600 gallons of gas a year. Wow, if you think about it that way, we use a lot. And the second one is definitely the amount of fuel used in 2019 for airline flight was 18.27 billion gallons of fuel. That's a lot. But in 2021, when we weren't really able to have conferences and we weren't able to fly out as much and go to many places, it went down to 13.78 billion gallons. That's a considerable difference. That's about 4.5 billion gallons or so approximately difference. And that when you consider billions, that's a lot. So in closing, my lesson is for students to explore the value of intentional design and congruency in teaching others, and the value of online learning in promoting diversity, equity, inclusion, and sustainability in alignment with United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. The eco-benefits of online learning in promoting sustainable change, and that's everything that we want them to do. And thank you very much for your time today. And now let's create a sustainable future together.